Welcome to Linux Saloon, a place to discuss tech, open source, and where Linux is always on tap. Each show we'll have a talk about a Linux project. It could be a desktop environment, a distribution, application, any number of things. And we'll also chat about any variety of topics from the community. Anything that's Linux, tech, and open source related is on the table for discussion. I'm Nate, a Linux fitness and vintage tech enthusiast with an almost unhealthy obsession with the open source project. With me today, I've got Swift, Jinda, Ben. How is everybody? Oh, can you say that one more
Living
time?
large and living fine.
You said you're doing excellent?
Yeah,
Pretty
I'm
good,
excellent.
pretty good.
Great. I'm happy to hear that. So I don't know if I'm having some earbud issues or if there is some something else going on. So if somebody complains, cool, let me know because I could be having some earbud issues, and I don't and it might just be just in my earbuds. But if it's coming out there in the stream too, I guess they'll let me know. So today we're doing a second helping of a news flight night because last week it didn't really become a news flight. It was all I don't know what it was. It became like a weird open mic night abomination kind of thing. So not abomination, I shouldn't say that. It was fun. Anyway, so we're going to kind of hammer through the news again. We are short on Eris this week, which in case you have not done so yet. So there's a lot of static from my mic. Okay, so it does seem like there are some issues, and I don't know what is causing the problem. Everything was fine a little while ago. Overdriving my mic. I can try to turn it down. Is that any better? If it's
It sounds okay to me, Nate. I mean,
sounds okay to you. The issue is
yeah, it still sounds a little. It sounds a little clickety clackety, but I can make out a lot of what you're saying.
well, I
And
think
and Bill says you're overdriving a little bit.
it says there is static, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on here.
Yeah, it does sound a bit overdriving to me, at
All right,
least a little.
all right. How about? Are we any better now?
It sounds clear to me.
Does it
Yes.
sound
That was
clear
better, yeah.
enough?
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, Arch
Yes,
Penguin
I still
says
hear
it
crackles in the background.
sounds bad. Well,
Yeah, yeah. Mike said it sounds the same.
mm, okay. How about now?
Yeah,
Any changes?
I'm not entirely. Yeah, Phil said no. So
It's warm in the
yeah, I see
saloon.
it sounds.
Open the
Yeah.
windows. Yeah, it's something I guess maybe. Sound okay. Mike says it sounds better. Let me keep. I don't know. Maybe it was. Now it seems to probably got too quiet according to the VU meter. No, I'm Pamela. I'm not in my normal streaming setup. That computer's still down. I'm waiting for some parts to come in so I can put that back together. But thanks for asking.
Yeah.
Everyone is crackling. All right, so I don't know what the problem is. Because I don't. If it's maybe the stream and whatnot. I'm not gonna. I don't want to do. If I can't get this thing cleared up, I don't know if I want to like put out garbage out there. Turn off the fan. I don't have a fan on. Oh, the
It's
fan
kind of
above
my
me.
fan.
Well, my fan isn't it's silent. It makes no noise. But I can turn it off. Give me a second here. So this is where I flex my nerddom. All right, now the fan's off. It's still spinning because inertia. So Arch Penguin, I did reboot, early on, and I was hearing some crackling. So I don't know what the problem might be. It could be because I have too much garbage over here, for all I know. Jinda, it's clear now. A lot less crunchiness now. Fan vibration issues. Sounds better. So I don't know if you're just saying that because you're trying to, hello everyone, says the seeker. I wonder what the seeker is seeking. Okay, Nate sounds okay now. Well, golly, if that fan, which makes no noise, was the issue, paint me green and call me Gumby. I guess that's what it's going to be. Well, all right. Well, I guess maybe. Okay, you sound okay. All right. Well, everyone says I sound okay. I mean, I don't think I sound okay ever. But if by sound okay you mean I sound like you can hear me fine, then we'll go with that. I can deal with that. All right. Well, now that we've got that straightened out, sounds okay. Everyone says it sounds good. I'm a little shocked too. Your mic gain probably picked, but doesn't make any noise. Like it's literally a silent fan. There's none of the buzzing that you get with the fan. Nothing. Unless it's like electromagnetic interference or something like that. Could
It
that
could
actually
be.
be it? Well, that would be ridiculous. I
Yes,
mean,
but it could be.
yeah. All right. Well, hey, I guess let's move on. All right. Well, let's see. Be sure to do the straw poll if you have not done the straw poll yet. Eris won't be here to do that, so I'll be the pinch hitter to do that for Eris. But he's got a busy life. So on the docket for today, we've got we're doing the news flight. We've got the straw poll right before that, and we also have a community free poll. We're going to talk about Steam OS. Yeah, magnetic field from the fan.
Storm OS, Nate.
What I say?
You said Steam.
Oh, my goodness, I know it's on my mind. Storm OS, not Steam OS, but Storm. Although you might blow some steam off in the middle of a storm, I suppose. Anyway, we're going to talk about Storm OS. We've got Ben here to tell us all the goodness from that. And
Ricky will be on shortly to help, by the way. He's downloading Zoom.
oh, fantastic. But first, what I've been doing in Linux and tech, and I didn't talk to Jind about this ahead of time. I don't know if he has anything. If not, I do have one fun little thing to share. It's quick, and I forgot to grab it. So, this was a couple weeks ago, I think. My oldest pulled off the shelf this Chromebook. And did I talk about this Chromebook already? Jen, just stop me if I talked about it. You're muted, Jen.
Sorry, I don't think you talked too much about it.
Did I talk about this Chromebook? Because I'm not sure if I did or not. But I want to brag.
You said something about your son wanting to put Linux on it, and you said it would be a hassle, and then you told a story about that.
Okay, well, he did it. And so this leads into something else. So he got this, it's running OpenSUSE now because it's what he actually chose to install. And he's comfortable with that installer. And it runs great. But now he's got like this new found excitement for technology, which has been kind of cool. And now because of that, I picked up some server hardware from a listener who sometimes visits on Linux Saloon, and so it's some server equipment, and it's got like 18 slots for RAM. It's a big server thing. And it's a PowerEdge R710, I believe. So it's 18 slots, and so my oldest now he has his newfound confidence in playing with playing with Linux. Has he wants to do more of it. So we got he decided to take some time and play with it. He actually cleaned it. It was really dusty, so he cleaned it up. I gave him like the hose, the air hose, not a water hose. He dusted everything off and kind of marveled at some of the engineering. I don't know if you've ever pulled a server apart, but like everything, all these modules kind of come out of it. Really, it's a really neat design. And so we got it cleaned up, and then we started the thing up. We don't have any drives for it yet. It takes like 2.5-inch drives, and we just kind of put like Gecko Linux, a live thing, and obviously there's no the graphics performance is very, very poor, but that's not what they built the thing for, right? And he decided he wanted to like explore the idea of putting like an NVIDIA 2060 in it to see if we could like use it as a game machine. So we kind of ran into a couple of hang-ups on that. One is the we can't find a way to pull power from anywhere to power the GPU. And then also, if I pull the riser card out, the server will not boot and it complains that you took the riser card out. So um, that's a couple things I can't really solve for that yet. But anyway, so it's really fun. It was really exciting to see him. I mean, he spent a lot of time like cleaning and messing with things. And I'm kind of hoping. I mean, if it's Linux and messing around and owning your computer propels him into a career in IT in some fashion. I mean, that's a really wide, really broad area, but that'd be pretty cool. And so I think that's really fun to give kids old hardware to tear apart and break and whatever else, and see what comes of it. So I mean, I was kind of neat to see that he had like a ribbon cable and he was like this PCI thing, whatever. He was doing all kinds of fun things. He just couldn't power the card. So anyway, that's what I had to share. It was just it's almost like a little bit of passing the torch. It used to be all me doing these tech things, and now it's not all me anymore. And I really like that. It's pretty great. So and I see there's some interesting things going on here in the chat. So Mike Chilson says, has anyone else noticed all the switching to Linux videos the last couple of weeks after Microsoft announced Copilot screen grabbing? So funny. I did notice quite a bit of that. There's been some I don't know how to describe it, but like there's been people who are not like Windows, not Linux channels that have like come in my feed, like things I've never seen before, but they obviously are more Windows centric, and talking about how upset they are with Windows 11 and the Copilot and the what's it called, like the memory or remember there's some new feature that it will remember what you just did, and I don't know, it's a little bit creepy, but that's just me. Welcome, Ricky. Nice to have you. Oh, you can ignore me. That's fine too. I'm not offended. So, let's see. I see here that Keegan the Tennessean says, "Good evening, all. Sitting here waiting for Papa John's delivery." That sounds delightful. Last time I had Papa John's, I got to see it again a few hours later. It was delicious going down, just not so great coming back up. Yeah, Adam says, the irony that he can't remember the name of the feature to remember the things. Yeah, what is it called though? Recall, that's right. I couldn't recall what it was called.
Yeah, spyware is now something that they call a feature.
Yeah. I know. So what do you think of that? Like just on its surface, do you think it's we're blowing out of proportion, or do you think it's actually something of concern?
Isn't that up to the person using the PC that they're okay with it or not?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, yes, on one hand, but on that same hand, I'm not sure if.
Well, you are maybe taking advantage of somebody who's not keen to what it's really doing.
Yeah, there's that.
Right? Yeah, but the thing is you are charging them for a product, and you then are using them as a service. Yeah, it's kind of like a catch-22 in a way.
Well, the thing that like I see is, a computer should be there to assist you, right? It should be like a companion of sort, not companion, that's not a good word. Be like an assistant, a digital assistant is what a computer has been. From the very beginning, helped us organize our files, reduce the amount of filing cabinets, or, whatever else, being able to digitize and so forth. And so I can see the merit of having something like Recall, because if you forgot what website you went to or whatever, that's an issue. At the same time, I have a browser history, so why would I need anything more than that, I suppose? And if I don't want my history recorded for whatever reason, there's always this, is it incognito? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can do that, because if you have, let's say, you have a profession where you have to guard your trail or whatever.
Right.
So,
or you're shopping for Christmas presents and someone else uses the PC.
Right, that's a good point too.
I mean, there's all kinds of reasons, but the other thing is that here's a product, I'm paying you to, to use it, and now I'm using you as a source for revenue.
Right.
And
That is
and to me, that kind of crosses the line. But also how they're spinning it. To me, in the past, this was considered a virus or
right.
considered a bad thing, and
Malware.
now it's considered acceptable.
Right. So, Code 2610 says keylogger and screen recorder in one. Just gain control and you're all in. Yeah, that does kind of seem what it feels like, doesn't it? I don't know.
Well, what's the point of being able to hack into someone's PC if you already access to everything they already did?
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. It just doesn't seem, on one hand I can see the value in it, I guess, but on the other hand it seems so creepy and wrong. And just I don't know. Like making us just that's kind of how I look at it.
I can't see ever really wanting it. I mean, I admit I have a copy and paste history. That
Mhm.
copy and paste is the last 25 things I did. And like you said, I can go to any website that I went to 10 minutes ago or an hour ago or 2 days ago. How much do I really want to go back in time? Seriously, I
Yeah.
really can't. I never have in the past and go, oh man, I really wish I could go back here.
Right.
I don't think I've ever done that.
So Philip Collier says recall is straight up surveillance for companies and authorities. Recall is Big Brother. Yeah, that is really how I feel about it. And I'm not ever going to be like, oh, just embrace the now, get with today or whatever.
Drink the Kool-Aid, Nate.
Right. So Mike Shilson says, I don't have a problem with AI itself, but the fact that Microsoft is capturing all the information and selling it to marketing companies, that is where I have a problem with it. Yep, and laying off lots of their employees too at the same time. So,
Well, if Windows was free and they said if you want it for free, this is how you pay for it, then that's different. But you have to pay for it too and give them your data.
yeah. So, Code 2610 says, do you trust Microsoft that it stores data only locally? No, I do not.
No, they don't.
So Dan Leckland says, I see the value. I think we need better tools to track what we do. I don't want Microsoft or Apple or Google to do it for me. Yes, I agree. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a brave new world we're living in now, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I just want computers to be fun. I want technology to be fun. I don't want it to be. I don't want to have a tenuous relationship with it, I guess, is really what it boils down to, I think, which is why I enjoy Linux. And I think, that's fun. So if you have not done the straw poll, be sure to knock that out. I think it's been put there in the chat a few times, if not. So I'll do some of the replies that I got from it first. Sorry, Eris does a better job of reading these, and so I'll do my best. So it says, so one of the comments is, on my daily driver, sorry, let me back up here. The question was, which best describes how often you update your computer? And I lack consistency in how I do anything, which is a big problem. So I went with what I think was the closest, and you can do the same thing. So here's some of the replies before I get to the final tally. So on my daily driver, whenever I see an update indication, I usually open the update manager and see what's new. Then I update it. It could be multiple times a day, or I miss a day. It just depends on what's inbound from the distro and the devs working on applications I use. For my occasional distros, I usually update when I use them. Over the last 2 years, I've only had 2 updates cause issues, and I simply reverted them and waited for the next update to solve this issue. I wonder what he was using if he reverted. OpenSUSE. Someone else says, I'm roughly about once a week. Even on a rolling distro like Tumbleweed, pretty sure I don't need every small rebuild with the same version, but different build number. Yeah. And somebody else says, I think a lot of what really revolves around which distro you use. As someone who used Linux Mint for about 9 years straight, I can say with certainty that updates came out far less frequently than with Fedora. From the day I first installed Fedora 40 KDE to now, not a day has gone by when there weren't at least a couple of updates. All right. What about you, Jinda? How often do you update?
I try to do it every day if I can, but
Okay.
life in general and everything. I try to
got you.
keep on top of it. I don't know if that's really the best way to do it, but that's just the way I am.
Gotcha. Okay. How about you, Ricky? How often do you update your systems? On just, on the average.
Okay, there we go. Basically, ever since I got into Linux full time in 2018, the most I've updated most of my machines is basically I update at least every 2 weeks at minimum.
Okay.
Whether it's Linux Mint, Debian, Endeavor OS, whatever distribution I use, every 2 weeks is the minimum for me.
Okay. That's fair. What about you, Ben? Are you back? It says be right back a minute, guys. That's what you said to Ben. But okay, if you come back, fire away. How about you, Swift? How often do you update?
I haven't been able to update in a while because I'm in the process of moving. So,
Oh,
yeah, so I've been just using my MacBook Pro as a daily driver for a while. So,
how often do you update that? I'm sure
now,
updates come down.
yeah, they do. I really don't do it all that often, to be honest with you. Here and there, I'll go ahead and do it, but I'm not as diligent on that at all.
I think for me, it's when I see the little indicator is usually when I do the update in the corner. I've been testing doing updates on Tumbleweed through Discover because I haven't been doing that because it usually doesn't work or hasn't worked historically. But the last couple weeks, ever since the move from TLP to TuneD for the power management, like when that transition happened, that was the last time I had to do in the terminal. But I'll do the update in Discover, and then I check it to make sure that the updates did come through. So I'll double check with Zipper occasionally. But it's been going really really nice. I can just update through Discover, does the flat packs and the RPMs, and then I'm off to the races. After a reboot or whatever. So I don't know. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and refresh here and see what the results are. Oh, and one other note: when I do, one thing I have noticed, like not this week, but a few weeks ago, I was getting more updates on my Windows machine, my work machine, than I was on my Linux machine that I use at work. So I thought that was really interesting, and I'm running a rolling release, so I don't know what's going on there. Maybe there's some issues being stomped out. I didn't keep track of what the details were, so probably should have done that. All right, so which best describes how often you update your computer? So the number one answer at 33 and a third % is once a day. In second comes every 3 to 4 days, that's about what I say for me. That was at 21%. At 18%, multiple times a day. And then 9% says once a week, 9% at every other week, 3% said automatic updates are set, and then also 3% for once a month, and then I had and last was other. 0 votes for longer than once a week, longer than once a month, and for Tux Penguin. So Tux Penguin got 0 votes in this one. So I guess that's the way it goes. Anna Rita says, I update every day my Linux system. She continues that every night before she clocks out. So what does Leviticus says, what is updating? So that's when you get cool shiny new stuff. It just kind of comes down from the interwebs. It's good times. Arch Penguin says, I just want a good Linux ARM laptop someday that I can update every day. I added that last part. Steve's very own says, my pop is on auto update. Adam Grubb says, I'm an every other week person unless there's a new package that is important to me. There are some machines that I don't update every day or even every week. So there's that. Hip Dad says, first thing I do when I sit at my computer. See, I can't do that because I got things I got to do when I sit at my computer. Maybe I'll do it like when I'm done at the end of the day sometimes, or over lunch. He says, could be 4 times a day. So every time you sit down back at your computer, that's fun. That's fun. Cool. Well, thank you very much, Hip Dad and everybody else for contributing there. It's fun when there's some interaction. But yeah, no, I think it just varies from machine to machine. If it's like a server that I use, one of my servers, I don't update it every day. It's probably like once every month or 6 weeks. So, and that's connected all the time, which is probably a bad idea to not update every day. No, update it when the updates come down. So anyway, well, good times. All right, so I guess let's move on to the news. So we got some news topics. So if you have anything, any news items you want to contribute to the conversation, go ahead and put it in the chat there, and I'll or even put it in the Telegram group, the Linux Saloon Telegram group. That's where a lot of these stories come from, and other places. And Eris filled most of these in because he's a good dude. So the first story of the day, which I'm rather excited about, I think is pretty darn exciting. The framework announces Intel Core Ultra Power laptops with 2.8K displays. Has anybody seen this? So from Phoronix, and also you could also, I suppose, read it from the.
So
I have
actually,
not seen it yet, Nate.
Nope.
I read that article and I was impressed with what I've seen of that particular machine, and I'm actually looking forward to their next AMD offering. I'm wondering if they'll be able to even surpass what Intel is doing right now, or just how that'll play out.
Yeah, I know. I hope AMD does. I think maybe did I bring this up last week? I don't remember now. I can't remember. But I think what's interesting though is they have a 128 hertz display now, and this is just like a total side tangent. But I have when I experienced I've actually argued with Adam about this. When he says these high refresh screens. I don't argue is not the right word, but where I scoffed at what he said. But when you have a really high refresh rate, that does make a difference, and it's actually really quite nice to have that. For gaming, I guess. For productivity, I don't know. I mean, 60 hertz is what I run at, and sure, that's probably not. I know it's not awesome, but it's awesome enough for me, I suppose. Anyway, so you can check that out. It's pretty exciting to see that they're packing more into that little machine. Also, from Bleeping Computers, it says ad blocker users say YouTube videos are now skipping to the end. Has anybody experienced this? So many users report that YouTube videos automatically skip to the end or muting video if they're using an ad blocker, making it impossible for them to watch the video. The issue began yesterday, which is May 27th. And although it does not appear to impact everyone, it's far from isolated, with affected users reporting that it affects all YouTube videos. The unusual behavior is persistent when the user attempts to reload the same video or clicks on the beginning of the video. It is immediately fixed when the ad blocker is turned off. Additionally, the reports come from users of ad blockers on both Chrome and Firefox, like AdBlock Plus, as well as web browsers that have integrated ad blocking systems such as Opera GX. This was first reported by 9to5 Google. Wow, is there a 9to5 everything? I know there's 9to5 Apple or Mac or something like that, and 9to5 Linux. What else we got 9to5 of? Anyway, so 9to5 Google. Many users are accusing YouTube of intentionally causing this problem, as Google has begun cracking down on the use of ad blockers on YouTube over the past year. However, it is unclear what is causing the issue or whether it is an intentional move from Google. So it's kind of one of those games of cat and mouse, I sort of think. You build a better mousetrap, the mouse builds a better something. I don't know. Becomes more sneaky. I'm a little bit torn on it. You know, I don't use an ad blocker because I do pay for YouTube Premium since I basically get all my entertainment from YouTube at this point, for the most part. Although I did watch some Strange New Worlds on Paramount yesterday. That was fun. But the only reason I got YouTube Premium is because I want to make sure that I can that the the people that I watch all the time, that I support them, with their monetize and whatnot. That's the main reason why. But I was annoyed by the ads. So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think Google's doing it on purpose, or do you think there's something they've done is causing it unintentionally?
I'm honestly not really sure about it. I mean, I haven't pretty much in all my years of, using uBlock Origin and Privacy Badger and whatever else I need, I have not come across like anything from YouTube stating, "Oh, you're using a pop-up blocker. We're going to do this to the video object." I have never come across this. At least not me. I mean, I'm pretty sure other people have in some way, shape, or form have come across, some YouTube shenanigan here and there, but for me personally, I haven't seen it.
So very exciting to hear. Leo has been yelling at y'all or all of us. What's the recipient side of y'all? Anyway, from the shower, Yoop is now injecting server-side ads, so you can't even block them anymore. This ad blocker thing is old hat now.
I haven't seen any, ads with an ad blocker when I have it without it. When I have my browser without it. When I have a browser without an ad blocker, Nate, I do see them, but when I have it without it, or with it, I should say, I don't see it at all. So I guess I'm lucky like Ricky is.
So Anna Rita says that she doesn't use very much Google. She just uses YouTube, Google Maps, Google Search Engine, and Google Email. That's all. So yeah, I guess she barely uses it. Then Leo also says, but I need to say 51% of y'all updating every day are updating way too often. I'm not sure.
I can't disagree with that.
And then Anna has some other questions in there. You can read that for yourself. Anyway, so I guess on one side of it, YouTube needs to make money for carrying and serving the content. I get that. They got to pay for it somehow. I don't necessarily like how they do ads, but I do want the creators that I watch get paid. So, those that I watch often, I do support. And, like Leo and Linux User Space. I'm a Patreon supporter. I think I have a Lemmy account, so I can contribute, but I don't. So I'm sorry, Leo. Yeah, and then Leo does say he tends to do once a week or two. So maybe like once or twice a week. I don't know. Anyway, so something to think about. I mean, I guess I don't like ads. I don't like having to run ad blockers, but I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Hopefully we can find a good one that's equitable for everybody. It's a lot of electricity being burned to pay for or to keep the servers running. So, and someone's got to pay for electricity. It's not free. So, anyway, I wonder if those like YouTube player apps like SM Player and those others, I wonder how those would handle it, if differently at all. I don't know. All right. So another story. This XZ, we're not done talking about this. 5.6.2 released with the frightening backdoor removed. Also from Phoronix. So it was about 2 months ago that an urgent security alert was issued for ZX being hit by malicious code. That turned into the ad blocker a backdoor with, make this a little bit bigger here. Lib-LZMA added by a bad actor that worked his way into the XZ co-maintainership. Longtime XZ developer Lassie Collins is back at the helm and has been auditing the prior XZ commits and today released XZ 5.6.2 with the backdoor completely removed. So it was released with the CVE 2024-3094 backdoor cleared out that was present in the former 5.6 and 5.6 releases. The XZ backdoor situation continues to be investigated, and those interested in the ongoing updates can see this XZ backdoor page for the latest information. He also announced that Sam James has stepped up as a supporting maintainer moving forward for the XZ project. The release has some new bug fixes for building with the latest NVIDIA HPC SDK compiler, and also dropping the GNU indirect function support. The iFunc support was used by XZ Backdoor, but the removal of this code is coming because the performance benefits of using it were too small while adding much complexity. There are also 5.2.13 was also released today with various bug fixes, but with only the XZ 5.6 series that was impacted by the backdoor situation. So the new XZ point release is available on GitHub. So yeah, that's kind of that whole thing is quite the kerfluffle, I guess you could say. But so some would say the great thing was it was discovered because somebody just happened to find it that was doing some performance testing, and that's how the bug was found, or the whatever. But anyway, but yes, I hope he gets some real help. So I wonder who actually did it though. Like if that person can somehow be located, if they're a state actor or if there was something else. I wonder. Anyway, interesting stuff nonetheless. So from the Register, suspected supply chain attack backdoors, courtroom recording software. So justice is served, or should that be served now, that audio-visual software deployed in more than 10,000 courtrooms is once again secure after researchers uncovered evidence that it had been backdoored for weeks. The incident is being treated as a suspected supply chain attack at Justice AV Solutions by researchers at security shop Rapid7, which launched an investigation following the alert in customers' MDR solution. JAVS is a Kentucky-based software vendor that specializes in developing apps for the use in courtrooms, prisons, and lecture theaters, among others. One of its installers is believed to have been poisoned by an unknown actor, and everyone running JAVS Viewer 8.3.7 should probably be springing action right away. So another attack, I guess. I don't know. Isn't there like some sort of at least in the U.S. where you can do requests for that information anyway? Like you can do those FOIA requests or what is the Freedom of Information Act? Yeah. I wonder about that stuff. So anyway, some other software where an attacker was discovered. Crime doesn't pay. Or maybe it does, just doesn't pay well. Or pays well until you get caught. I don't know. Either way, don't do that. Don't be bad. So anybody here using Firefox on the regular? Yep, I use Firefox primarily. Kind of mix of Chrome, Firefox, and Edge.
I use Chromium primarily.
Yeah, okay, I should say Chromium. I'm not using Chrome. Chromium, you're right.
Yeah. I'm using Firefox ESR on Debian 12 Bookworm, but my other favorite browser is Vivaldi.
So I got a question about Vivaldi. What is my problem? So by every measure, like by the book, by the numbers, I should love Vivaldi.
Basically, I mean, one of the reasons why I like Vivaldi, and this is my particular reason, is the way the developers who made it have, the theming laid out and the settings panel laid out. Basically, to me, it may be a Chromium fork, but Vivaldi, out of all the Chromium-based browsers I've tested, has some of the most beautiful dynamic theming arrangements I've ever seen in a web browser. Like the dark theme looks vibrant, but also the light theme looks really good too. Um, there's just so many settings when it comes to the themes that I think separates Vivaldi from every other Chromium fork out there. That's pretty much my personal favorite thing about it is basically having my own personal theme with it.
Yeah, and so I like that Vivaldi is very customizable. You can tune it to how you want. And so because I do use Plasma as my primary desktop environment, that would mean to me I should like Vivaldi because you can tune it to how you operate. But
Hmm.
I just prefer Firefox.
Yeah. I mean, a part of me prefers Firefox too, especially when you pair Firefox with this wonderful project that I stumbled across a little while back called BetterFox. And what BetterFox is, it is a pretty much an already customized user.js that you pretty much drop in a brand new Firefox profile that you have to make. And in this new profile, about like I would if I had to put a number on it, about like 95% of telemetry that normally Mozilla crams into Firefox completely gone. No data collection,
Hmm.
hardly. It basically minimizes it to this much. But aside from dealing with telemetry, it also this user.js also deals with, crypto miners, trackers, that sort of stuff, the usual stuff. And I've been using BetterFox for about 2.5, maybe 3 years now. Because before then, I pretty much would make my own not user.js, but what I would do is I would just basically harden Firefox mainly myself, which is what I was doing before. But I thought to myself when I found this user.js, you know what? Doing it manually is okay, but with everything I have to do in my day, I don't have the time or the patience to be manually hardening Firefox anymore. I'm just going to use this and just go on about my day. And BetterFox has been basically a godsend to me because of that. Because, I mean, aside from managing my YouTube channel and my Odyssey gaming channel, amongst everything else I do on my machines, I don't have the time to manually harden Firefox as much as I used to. So BetterFox basically gives me that peace of mind knowing that the Firefox I'm using right now has very little data collection, very little crypto miners and data trackers and all that, and that's really good.
I hope
Really good.
zero. I hope zero miners.
Mhm.
So Pamela says Florp is my new favorite browser, and when I first read that, I thought that was some kind of a troll because. But then Heather Brown says I've tried Florp, and I was thinking, well, maybe Heather and Pamela are in on this to try and troll me together because that would be how things would work here. And but then Pamela says Florp is based on Firefox, and then I see that Anne Rita says for me privacy and security comes before speed of the browser. So yeah, I understand that. Anyway, yeah, there are lots of browsers. Anna she says too many browsers, in my opinion, just like Linux distros. So I just pick 2 or 3 and stick with them, and move on with life. Yeah, that's the way I do it. Well, anyway, the that was the preamble or the whatever to talk about. Here's what they're working on in Firefox. So there have been a number of updates coming down, and also in if you have not listened to Linux User Space Season 4, Episode 20, so 420. I think they did that on purpose. They did bring back their Mozilla Hour, so check that out. But anyway, so it says at Mozilla we're worked hard to make Firefox the best browser for you. That's why we are focused on building a browser that empowers you to choose your own path. that gives you the freedom to explore without worry or compromise. We're excited to share more about the updates and improvements that we have in store for you over the next year. So bring you the features you've been asking for. Well, thank you, Firefox, or Mozilla, like kind of mozzarella. Anyway, it says we've been listening to your feedback. We're prioritizing the features you want most. So productivity boosters, so tab grouping, vertical tabs, and our handy sidebar will help you to stay organized no matter how many tabs you have open, whether it's 7 or 7,500. Plus, the new profile media management system will help keep your school, work, and personal browser separate but easily accessible. Customizable new tab wallpapers will let you choose from a diverse range of photography, colors, or abstract images that suit your most. Intuitive privacy settings that deliver all the power of the world-class anti-tracking technology into a simple, easy-to-understand way. More streamlined menus that reduce the visual clutter and prioritize top user actions so that you can get to important things quicker. So they continue to work on speed and performance and compatibility. So faster, smoother browsing in Firefox. So quicker page loads and startup times while saving more of your phone's battery life. How about laptop? So they've improved responsiveness by 20% as measured by Speedometer 3 in collaboration with spearheaded other leading tech companies. So that's cool. Also making most out of your time online without sacrifice. That's another heading. So ensuring that your privacy is core to everything we do at Firefox. And like other companies, I wonder who they're pointing to, who ask you to exchange your data in order to do even basic everyday things online. You don't have to give up your personal information to get a faster, more efficient browser experience with Firefox. Reading a new story in a different language or signing a form for school or work shouldn't require you to give up your privacy. So we've worked hard to make things like translation and PDF editing in Firefox happen locally on your device so you don't have to ship off your personal data to a server farm for a company to use how they see fit. So that's pretty exciting stuff right there. So Don Lackland says, I still use Firefox, but Mozilla is flushing it down the toilet. They blocked privacy extensions for Russian users, didn't respond for days, and only reversed after the Intercept published about it. Oh, that's terrible. Don't like that. Anyway, so hopefully, so I try and like give everyone the benefit of the doubt. You know, maybe somebody there made a mistake, you know, but they did reverse it, so keep an eye on them, I guess. Trust but verify. Somebody once said that. So I guess that's what we have to do. That's why I like open source and Linux people. Here's some other exciting news from OMG Ubuntu. It is now officially safe to upgrade to 2404 from 2310 on Ubuntu. So good job, everybody. Best cup of coffee in the world right here. So it's not possible to upgrade from one LTS to the next, officially utilizing the standard GUI updater, or GUI. No command line developer flags required. So 2404 was released on April 25th, but distro devs delayed direct updates to the new release due to bugs. One rather serious. While those issues didn't affect everyone, lots of folks upgraded manually from the command line did so successfully, but the risk was there. So with the quirks addressed, one hopes, Canonical has enabled upgrades to the Noble Numbat, adding 2404 LTS to the meta release file. Older versions of the distro check to see if the new release is available. So that's exciting. Is anyone here running any versions of Ubuntu now? No. I do run it in DistroBox, so there's that. I don't know if it upgraded though, but there also isn't the GUI, so I guess maybe I have to do that manually anyway. Anyway, so I guess upgrade, yay. Alrighty. So this is exciting news for those of you running Pipewire. Pipewire 1.2 can now stream to Snapcast servers for multi-room audio. That is pretty cool. I don't know what a Snapcast studio is, but it sounds cool. So here's the article, written by Michael Larabelle, who I guess has been doing this for like 20 years now, this site, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So following the recent Pipewire 1.2 release candidate, a second release candidate is out today that also includes the ability to stream to Snapcast servers. Pipewire 1.2, with the previous release candidate, added explicit sync support, async processing, snap support, and a variety of other enhancements for this wonderful solution for managing audio video streams on the modern Linux desktop. Most exciting with today's Pipewire 1.2 release candidate 2 is the new Snapcast Discover module. This new Pipewire module detects remote Snapcast servers and creates a new sync for each server to allow streaming to them. Snapcast is a multi-room client-server audio player for a nice synchronized multi-room audio experience. Those unfamiliar with Snapcast can learn more from this link on GitHub. So overall, it's quite a small release with it looking like Pipe 1.2 stable will be out soon. So that's great news. So Sean says he's running Ubuntu and Ubuntu Budgie on a few systems. So now the question is, has he done the upgrade yet? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. So I think, is everything running Pipewire these days, or is there anything left that's still, Mr. Jim, do you got Pipewire in yours?
Yeah, I've been running Pipewire as soon as I possibly could.
Okay.
It's always worked flawless for me, but I did have a few issues, but once I installed, I think it's called Wire Plumber.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once I did Wire Plumber, it went from working great to amazing. I didn't think it could get any better, but it did.
That's great news.
I'm assuming everybody else is running Wire Plumber. I think that's pretty much the way to use it, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the only way it works at this point. I could be wrong, but I think so. Anyway, Pipewire has been great.
Yes, 100% amazing.
It's changed. It was the missing piece to make Wayland a thing.
Yeah, but the sound actually works better too.
Yeah, I think the latency is definitely reduced. Although, I didn't really notice it very much because, maybe I'm a little. I got a lot of built-in latency anyway. All right, so very exciting for any GNOME users out there. But GNOME publishes a draft of 5-year strategic plan. So the GNOME Foundation has published a draft copy of their 5-year strategic plan that calls for more around the community, DEI services, and more streamlined and inclusive annual event and strengthening the foundation. The GNOME Foundation has published a draft of the 5-year strategic plan in hopes of soliciting more feedback from the community and stakeholders. There are 3 strategic goals with 3 objectives in each. They include, and there's a blank here. Oh well. Cool. That's good to have plans. I know, there's I read someplace about how a family should have a 20-year plan. If I can get through my plans for a year, that's great. I don't know about this whole 20-year plan thing. It's good if you can do it, I suppose. Oh, Sean let's give an update. It says, did an earlier command line upgrade on the system and had issues, but was able to recover the upgrade with a few command line fixes from a TTY login. Well, that's fantastic. So then, hopefully it's all running great now. Alrighty. So this is also exciting. KDE is soliciting ideas for their goals to pursue over the next 2 to 3 years. From Phoronix. Back in 2022, the KDE project laid out new goals to improve accessibility, develop more environmentally sustainable software, and automate more processes for easing the development of KDE. These overarching KDE goals are refined every 2 to 3 years, and they are now soliciting ideas for the community for what they should focus on ahead. With KDE making strides on accessibility, making their software more sustainable, and automating more of their internal processes, they are now determining what their next set of broad changes should incorporate. I have some ideas, and I'm going to submit some. But KDE's Lydia Pinchner has published the request for feedback what KDE should focus on for the next 2 to 3 years via the KDE Fabricator. Ideas can be submitted over the next month. The selected goals they will focus on over the next few years will be announced at their Academy conferences in September. So there's a link on this article from Phronix if you would like to contribute to that. So here's what I'd really like to happen in the KDE world. I basically think for a desktop environment, KDE is essentially perfect. There's some things like I think they could probably steal some ideas from Windows as far as like some tiling features. I think Windows does pretty cool on Windows 11. But really, it's basically perfect. The only thing that kind of grinds my gears from time to time is Contact, or specifically the K-Organizer module of Contact. Kmail is great, but they need some more refinement in that because I've been having issues with the Google calendars again, like they just stop updating. And I really would like one centralized, I use this for everything. And it's just not been a rock solid project for a while, and it makes me sad because I used to use it all the time for everything, and the interface is great, but just a little thing, you know. That's what I'd like, just a rock solid implementation so I can do all these things cleanly. That would be what I want. So maybe that's just me, but the idea of being able to manage my information coming and going, calendars, and doing it nice and clean, that would be to me, that'd be the cat's pajamas. Okay, Mike Chilson says, so I want to throw this out for discussion. Is anyone else here using mini PCs now? I got rid of my big old development server and replaced it with one of these. Is anybody here using any mini PCs? What do you define as a mini PC?
That's a good question. I'm dying to know the answer.
So, always has something for show and tell, right? So, like a Think Center, would this be considered a mini PC, or is this just?
I thought that was small form factor.
Small, yeah. I call it a small form factor, but I don't know if mini PC falls in this line or if mini PCs are slightly bigger.
Is mini PC referring to the size and the power, or just the size?
Like a NUC?
Sorry.
This is a little 6x6 boxes. I'm not sure. So B-Link Mini S12 Pro Mini PC, 12th Gen Intel N100 up to 3.4 gigahertz, 16 gigabytes of DDR4, 500 gigabytes SSD, 4K dual display, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth. Let me see if I can look one of these up. It gives a big B-Link Mini S12 Pro Mini PC. If I copy that, I'm going to look over here and see what this is, because I am interested in knowing what he considers a mini PC. Oh, right there. First link is on Amazon. Thanks, DuckDuckGo, for advertising. Okay. Yeah, so okay, it's a little bit smaller than what I have in my hand. Is it fanless? Is what I wonder.
Oh, it's a tiny little thing.
Paid $169 for it.
Yeah, but the problem with that is that's taking the Raspberry Pi out of business because that thing's got a lot more power.
Well, it wouldn't be out of business because they're different.
But you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm referring to. The cost has gone up so much. Is it now worth it anymore?
I mean, I like this.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see the inside of it. Is there a picture here of the inside of it? There's kind of an explosive view. I don't want to have that. That was a video. Sorry about that, everybody. Yeah, no, it's the price is great. So I guess my question would be, it has a fan, and it runs Linux wonderfully. So it's got a ringing Linux endorsement by Mike. So I guess like what is it you want to do with it would be my question. Is it? I think that's really what it boils down to. I think that's great. So I might look in, I might want to, I can probably justify it for work as a to test out with things. I wouldn't even have to get a PO for that. It's cheap enough. That might be just interesting to check out. It does have a silent fan. So yeah, I mean it looks pretty great. I wonder what the oh, did you do like gaming with it? Well, you probably couldn't do AAA gaming necessarily unless you turn the graphics down. But I wonder like I wonder how it would perform for gaming. But for like office work, I couldn't see why this wouldn't be bad at all. I mean, 16 gigabytes of RAM. I mean, that's great. Oh, it says I've seen people use it for a workstation Velcro to the back of a monitor. So there are some cases where I think something like this would be great for different applications. So the Sean says the OG mini pieces would be the Commodores, Ataris, TI-99, Sinclairs, and all the early home computing history, at least in my opinion. I noticed he didn't say the Sinclair, so I'm not sure if maybe he has something against the Sinclair. But yeah, I don't know. Then Pamela says I just purchased an HP Elite Desk Mini with Ryzen 5 Pro, 16 gigabytes of RAM for $120 on eBay. I like eBay. Then Leo says those AMD chips, especially like the 6900 HX in the Mini and whatnot, are pretty darn good for AAA games. Not perfect, but very nice. Well, yeah, but that bar keeps moving a little bit higher and higher every year, it seems. So Anna, she's telling us that 3 laptops is good enough. Oh, he did say Sinclair. I apologize. You're right. He did. I can't hear my my own thoughts apparently. Anyway, yeah, I think I don't know. What do you think, Jinda? What would you do with something like that?
I try my latest version of whatever distro I would want to run on it and see how much fun I could get out of it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, they're 100. They went from 129 bucks to 180 bucks, depending where you got them from and which model you wanted. I mean, to me, it seems like a whole bunch of fun to play with.
Right. So Mike says I have a friend that's using them for mini servers running Linux for mail, DNS, etc. Ooh, running mail server. That's a brave person right there. Brave friend you have. Pamela says I'll put OpenSUSE Tumbleweed on I think the Elite Desk and stream video and Opera to the living room. And Opera. Ooh. Got a hi-fi setup where space is limited. Yep, I can see that. So Mike goes on and says he cut his power bill to a third. Yeah, that's pretty significant. So I mean, especially with the price of electricity certainly not going down. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a neat thing there. I mean, I wonder how well it would do for like running like a conference room, like like a Teams conference room and console and everything else. If it could do that pretty well, that might be what's that?
It'd be nice for like a computer out in a shop area or work area.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You could just have a big TV and a keyboard, like say you want to pull up some documents or something for somebody in the shop.
Right.
That'd be really nice, actually.
So I think my issue with desktops in general is when you have if you have like a weak if you live somewhere where there's a weak power grid, so it seems like you have to have a UPS of some kind. But that's just me. I know I like them. It'd be fun to, but it's always fun to play with technology. So I don't think I need another mini computer. So this is a Core i3 on this one, 7th gen. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be cool if you could like put them in some sort of like a rack mount, have like a few of those in there. That'd be pretty cool, I think. So Anna Rita says she loves mini PCs because they don't waste a lot of electricity. And Sean says, I used to run my own mail server, but it wasn't worth it time-wise in the end. Moved to Proton Mail and couldn't be happier, at least at this point. So Leo, I am not calling out Texas for the weak power grid. In fact, I think my issue is trees fall. That's my big issue. Yeah. Anyway. I don't know. I think it's definitely something to think about. Depends on I think the kind of applications you run, I suppose, for server applications. I thought Texas had like a lot of windmills and things. They just had that one ice storm. Probably windmills that you designed, right, Jinda?
Oh, no, I don't design any windmills. Sorry.
I know the cranes, right? They do the crane.
Yeah,
put together.
I do the lifting equipment to pick up windmills.
Yeah.
So brackets and fixtures and frameworks and God knows what.
Maybe Texas needs to go back to burning coal. Get rid of those windmills. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Well, they have new ones that go in the ocean that work under the current going up and down.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
that'd be
the
cool.
waves coming up and down. And those ones look a lot, how to say, way better in every way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know if they really are, but they look that way.
So Leo says, if a tree falls on Nate's power grid, but no one is running servers, I have battery backup for the house. And so I'm okay when that happens. And then Sean says, Texas has a lot of oil. Yeah, so they should just get coal that they import from like West Virginia or something like that, just to make it less, just as wasteful as other things. I'm joking, all right? Just trying to be funny. So Co2610 says, I have 2 HP mini PCs, 4th gen Intel. One is used as a home theater PC. So Mike says, I'm on, I know what TVA is, and if a squirrel jumps on a line, the power goes out, LOL. Yeah, I think I've heard of like squirrels crawling up into transformers and then having crispy squirrel afterwards and no electricity on that block.
I've seen it happen in the backyard once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had a power line and the squirrel got in the wrong spot at the wrong time. He was one crispy critter.
I believe it. Probably didn't know what was
Actually, it
going
really
on.
wasn't.
Well, probably wasn't a critter left.
Right. There wasn't much left of them.
Leo says they don't like to talk about it much, but Texas has a lot of wind and solar too. It seems like solar would be good for Texas. We got a whole lot of nothing out there, especially in West Texas. I don't know about where you are, but where I go to Texas, yeah, it's a whole lot of nothing. Oh, Mike says Tennessee Valley Authority, so TVA stands for. Anyway, well, good times. Yeah, I think mini PCs are cool. For sure. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, exciting news. If you are using one of the Ubuntus, the Snap Store website, redesign goes live and it looks good. So stop by the new Snap Store website. Why am I having such a hard time saying that? And you'll see it's undergone a revamp. The second design on the online storefront in the past 12 months, but more substantive than the first. The search bar is now shorter and incorporated into the header section, which also drops the search thousands of snaps used by millions of people across 41 link distributions strapline as shown in the since 2019. But wait, huh? They drop it. They drop the little tagline. So the featured snap section remains at the top of the content area, but there is no longer topped by a featured banner graphic icon, title, uploader, and description for each featured snap is now housed in the card box rather than floating free as before. So that's good, I guess. A new category sidebar has been introduced. This is a navigational difference to before, where categories were surfaced as sections on the homepage requiring scrolling. Each section highlighted feature apps with the grouping, plus a link to see more. Yeah, it looks nice. So you guys check that out. The new Snap Store to see all the new shiny they've been putting on there. Anyway, yeah, it's always good to see continued improvement in that area. I still like snaps, and despite whatever issues they have. Does anybody here use snaps? No, no, because you use MX, and MX doesn't have.
Yeah,
system
MX
view by
doesn't.
default.
Well, yeah, I can turn it on,
on.
but I'm not a Snap guy. I'm sorry. Flat packs and everything else is enough.
I got you. Makes sense. I haven't heard from Cruz at all. I don't know if he's a Snap guy, but he's using MX as well, I believe. So, not sure if.
No, I'm not. Nate. No, I'm not.
No. I'm going to
Are
guess
you
that.
guys,
What's that?
you guys are here, right?
Yeah, I heard
Oh
you.
yeah.
Loud and clear.
Okay, great.
Yep. Yep, that's exciting. Well, anyway, glad to see the Snap Store is continuing to get improvements and not being dropped. So that's the exciting thing. So it is. It's 21:20. I want to give make sure we have enough time for Ricky, Ricky and Ben. So we have time for maybe one more story here, maybe two. So it looks like Gnome Shell and Mutter broke their good faith with Ubuntu. Maybe this was part of the 5-year plan. I don't know. So Gnome Shell and Mutter have been covered by Ubuntu's GNOME micro-release experience policy (MRE) that allows for new point releases to ship rather easily as stable updates to existing Ubuntu Linux releases. But breaking the camel's back is GNOME 46.1 shipping explicit sync support due to a landing in a significant new feature into a point release. The GNOME Shell and Mutter are no longer covered by this exception. So the Ubuntu micro-release exception for Ubuntu allows for specific upstream packages to allow in new micro point releases rather than backporting individual patches for sending down as stable release updates to users. But the intent that the point release are focused on just fixing bugs and not adding new features to other big changes. So longtime Ubuntu developer Christopher James Hales Rogers announced today that GNOME Shell and Mutter are no longer covered by this exception. So, I don't know. It's kind of a GNOME thing, I think. It's probably part of their 5-year plan. Make Ubuntu unhappy. Who knows? And then maybe we'll end on this one. But sad news. iFixit is breaking up with Samsung. So I don't know if you're going to have to ask for your toaster back or not. But iFixit and Samsung are parting ways 2 years after they teamed up on one of those first direct-to-consumer phone repair programs. iFixit CEO and co-founder Kyle Waynes tells The Verge the two companies have failed to renegotiate a contract and says Samsung is to blame. Well, maybe it was iFixit's fault. I don't know. Samsung does not seem interested in enabling repair at scale, even though similar deals are going well with Google, Motorola, and HMD. He believes dropping Samsung shouldn't actually affect iFixit customers all that much. Instead of being Samsung's partner on genuine parts and approved repair manuals, iFixit will simply go it alone the same way it has always been done with Apple's iPhones. So anyway, that's unfortunate. But I think Samsung makes garbage anyway, so.
Unfortunately, I would have to agree with you.
I don't like the Samsung Android experience at all.
No, I only had some cheap Samsung phones, and they were crap. And then I got a Motorola one that was cheap, and was the 10,000 light years ahead of it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just not a Samsung guy.
Well, also their privacy policy is rather troublesome as well.
Oh,
So there's that.
wow.
So anyway, so I guess if you want to read more on that, go ahead and do so. But I just want to read some of the comments here. So Sean says, I use whatever the app I need is packaged as. Snaps, flat packs, app images, and native apps are all on the table. Yeah, I agree. That's how I play too. So Leo says, was this a true agreement or just a it's been this way for a while so we can make assumptions kind of thing? Sounds like for a couple of years they had an agreement to be like the preferred parts distributor, but I guess not. And then Mike says, everyone be sure to click the like button if you're watching on YouTube. Yes, please. Or if you're somehow doing it some other way. Yeah. Is there another way? I don't know. That'd be nice. Yeah. Well, I like iFixit. I go there quite often for different repairs, and it's been a very, very, very valuable site to me. So I do appreciate iFixit very much. Oh, Leo says, sorry, that was about the Ubuntu thing. I was a little behind in the live. Oh, that's okay. No worries. It applied for both, I think. So anyway, next week is going to be an application appetizer. So we're going to do something in the realm of applications. And I'm not really sure. I had an idea last week, and I didn't write it down, and now I don't know what that idea was. So obviously it wasn't very good. But I think I was thinking, what was I thinking about? I was thinking about a bunch of stuff. Are there any applications that you think are worth exploring? I should check it out. I'm going to look up and see some of the ideas I'm not going to say I've written down because I didn't write them all down. I don't take credit for something I didn't do entirely. Nope, that's not it. There are Linux Saloon application suggestions. So Sean said we should check out Gear Lever or Lever, Gear Lever. This is the ability to manage app images with ease. Oh, that's kind of fun. OnCell, a fork of FreeCAD. I think it was Sean that said I should check out OnCell. I've been using OnCell quite a bit. It's quite a bit better than FreeCAD, even though it's based on FreeCAD. So I've really enjoyed it. In fact, I used it for, although it's not my job to do engineering prints at work, I'm an IT manager. I did a print for a machine in Texas with the help of a technician on their end. We did like a live thing, and I put together a drawing. It was pretty cool. Detox. What is this Detox? So that certain CAD package of OnCell is working very well so far. It could be a topic for sure. It will likely be a topic on Linux Out Loud. So what is Detox? I don't know. Detox. Wait. I don't know. I'm not getting any much of a summary. Utility designed to clean up file names, replaces non-standard characters with spaces with standard equivalents. Oh. That seems pretty edge case stuff. See, Veracrypt. What is Veracrypt? I've heard it many times, but I don't know anything about it. Detox is expensive, very expensive. Wink. I think we've done Veracrypt before, didn't we? a disk encryption? I think we have. I'm not sure. Let's see. Is there anything, any applications that like in general interest somebody here? Some sort of cache management, or we could do a desktop environment. Try something new. That might be, we haven't done that in a while. Or no, it's not a distro. It's not a distro. Weak. I want to do a BSD at some point in time because why not?
You know,
Actually, hold on, Ricky. I actually have a suggestion for a BSD, actually, Nate. Ghost BSD, I think, just had a release recently, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is, I don't know if you know this, but it's like the easy version of free BSD. It's got it's got Mate and XFCE on top of it, and installer the whole shebang. So, you know, it might be worth checking out. Actually, Ricky and I have a when is that live stream coming up, Ricky? Of ours for that? Isn't that this month? Is that right?
Yeah, late this month is our Ghost BSD live installation bin.
Yeah, we
Ghost
could. And
BSD.
Leo says we could also do free BSD, which honestly isn't that hard to install. As a matter of fact,
No.
Ricky and I have done that a couple of times together,
Yeah.
and,
I say, Ben, we do Ghost BSD this month and we save free BSD for your birthday.
yeah, I was just saying on the Saloon, free BSD would be a nice exploration to look at. I think Leo's onto something there.
We could do that for sure.
But
It's not a
I
distro
think,
week. That'd be a couple weeks from now.
I mean, we've done I don't know how many daggone Linux distros, so I think, a BSD exploration might be a fun one. Yeah.
I've been playing with different Office applications, so like only Office. I
Office
Really from SoftMaker, I think is who's the company, but they have
yeah.
that I think has been pretty cool.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, Hmm.
I can't remember who. End up actually. Anyway, that's been.
Yeah.
Sean says maybe there's more for a 3D Saloon or 3D Out Loud.
Yeah, I agree with him on that one, truth be told.
I know what. So let me ask a question. So Ricky, when you're not installing apps sorry, when you're not installing Linux distributions and you're not developing for Linux distribution, besides games, what do you do on your Linux machine?
Basically, not really much. My mid 2012 MacBook Pro here that I pretty much dual boot, Mac OS Monterey and Debian. Basically, mainly, I do a tiny bit of gaming on this machine, just a little bit. Mainly, this is going to be a retro gaming machine for RetroArch. But other than that, it's mainly talking to people, looking up Linux articles for basically whenever I do Linux coffee houses, or I basically do recording on this, and then basically converting those videos to WebM format with FFmpeg. I do some of the same things I do on this machine on my main YouTube production machine, which has Linux Mint running the awesome window manager back there. And mainly that's pretty much what I do on a daily basis. I basically do surfing the internet, check my mail, play a game here and there, talk to people, and when Tuesdays and Thursdays hit, those are my days when I usually record and put up content. Saturday and Sundays is when I usually put up content for my gaming channel on Odyssey, which I will give you a link to that if you're interested on Discord. I'll DM you the link for that.
Well, you know what? I think we'll do is we're going to do a potluck again next week.
Okay.
So, creation appetizer potluck. Just bring something. Bring something like so. There's a new Snap store. Maybe explore the Snap store if you can. Explore maybe Flat Pack or App Images, because there is. I think I do like the idea of this gear lever. Or gear lever.
One application that I want to bring to your attention. It's an application that I've been using for a long time. I was thinking, maybe besides gear lever, we could also fit KeyPass XE into this. It is my favorite password / TOTP manager ever. It is very simple, very easy to use. It's pretty much, in my opinion, other than Bitwarden, KeyPass XE allows you to basically store your passwords completely offline. You don't even have to put them on a browser anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things I think I find very attractive about it, because if you have no internet connection, your Bitwarden is not going to work.
Exactly. I mean, and Bitwarden's good. It's wonderful. I never use it, but I know other people have. But I'm leaned more towards, KeyPass XE, because say if my computer goes out, I can at least have a backup of my password database somewhere, like on a USB drive. This way I know it's safe. And plus, the master password is with it, so I don't have to worry about, remembering it that much because it's there. The other cool thing I like about, KeyPass XE is it's cross-platform free and open source software, whether it's Linux, Mac, Windows, whatever. Most operating systems have it. Even Android and iOS has it.
And you could probably put together a pretty neat distributed solution with that's server, like that doesn't require servers at all. I think probably having it backed up or having it synchronized with sync thing, so it's not sitting on a cloud anywhere. It's just between your systems. Be pretty cool.
Exactly. The other application that I use on a daily basis as well, it's called Stacer. It is basically the Linux equivalent to the old Windows app CCleaner. Stacer's been around for a number of years now. Like, it's been around ever since I got into Linux in 2018. It pretty much does all the same stuff you would expect that CCleaner does. Cleans out your cache, your trash bin, all that same thing. And not only that, Stacer has a few other things that you can do with it as well, such as you can turn off certain applications from auto starting when your computer boots up, amongst other little functions here and there. It's also 100% free and open source software as well.
Well, cool.
It's mainly exclusive to Linux. You're not going to find it on any other platform.
Gotcha. Well, yeah. So if you're going to be here next week, Ricky, please do bring those up. I do like the idea of Stacer. I need to check out Stacer again, I think, too. Oh, even Mike says Stacer rocks. So
yeah,
if
it
Mike
does.
says Stacer rock,
I mean,
Stacer rocks,
either
then it must.
it's either A, I use Stacer, or B, I use BleachBit. Either way, they're both really good pieces of cleaning software to clean out machines.
Sweet. Okay. We'll bring those fine selections to the potluck next week, and
I will
share in the YouTube, in the Telegram and Discord as well, if you could. So
I will.
Excellent. Well, fantastic. All right. Well, so that means it's time for community free pour, and that means
Oh boy.
oh boy, let's try not to burn the internet down, guys.
Yeah. Time to bring down the hatchet.
Well, I don't know if you want to do that either. So if you guys want to go ahead and tell us what's
I'll
going
let
on here
Ricky
with Storm OS.
start this off.
Yeah. Well, me, Ben, Fishman Loves Linux, and Seeker, aka Red, we've been pretty much doing our parts in order to speed up the development process of StormOS, and we have basically an internal testing ISO that we're going to be testing later on tonight. It's not the first public alpha as of yet. We're still basically doing a lot of bug fixing, doing some internal testing, but at some point in time, there's no ETA on this. There will be a public alpha build ready for all of you to test. It's just we want to make sure that this thing is ready to go to out the door once we declare it between us four that it is a stable public alpha release. So it's going to take a while. Once again, we're not giving an ETA on when it will be ready. Because
from a high level, what are some really cool features you have in it now?
Basically, the main version of StormOS that we're working on, which is based off of Arch Linux, we've decided for the desktop environment, we're using XFCE like we were before, 4.18. Other than that, we're going to be giving pretty much all of you guys the choice between what browser you're going to be using. It's either A, you can use Firefox, and if you don't like Firefox, you can also use Chromium as well. I mean, there's plenty of options for web browsers out there. Other than that, it's pretty much going to be like your run-of-the-mill apps, just your basic web browser selection, maybe an email client. We haven't decided that yet, but if we do, we'll end up just putting Thunderbird in there. Other than that, when it comes to LibreOffice, just to keep the ISO nice and lean, we're not including LibreOffice. But other than that, it's just going to be, the basic bare essentials to get people going, and they can pretty much add on top of it whatever they want. We're pretty much giving you all basically the opportunity to pretty much put your take on what we're pretty much offering you.
So it's built on Arch?
Now, it's pretty much going to be like you said, basic Arch with the bare essentials, XFCE. Now, another change we've made, Nate, is we've kept the same wallpaper, but we changed the whisker menu icon to a wolf. And we also put the StormOS branding as the text in there. And we also changed the theming and the icons a little bit. And that's mainly what we've changed. Also, some point down the road, we will be adding an LFS version as well. But this time, we are not including a package manager because we've tried that in the past. It's not gonna happen. I mean, So the thing is, if people want to try the LFS version, do not expect it to be easy because yes, it'll have a installer on top of it of some kind, but beyond that, it's not going to be automated. You're going to have to do the untarring of the package. Actually, I take that back. It'll use Ricky and I talked about this. It'll use Slackware's package manager, actually called Slack Package, with G slapped on top of it. However, there will still be some manual intervention required if Slack Package and G slapped and all that doesn't have a package for said application or dependency, because Ricky knows as well as I do that Slackware's package manager doesn't cover everything in the book.
No, I mean, when it comes to Slackware, and me and Ben have been down the road with Slackware numerous times. I mean, Slackware over the last few years, ever since they had their last release, their repository is great. It's just Slackware, unfortunately, doesn't have every single package, which is why we're recommending, if you all want to try the LFS version once it's released, you can feel free to investigate it, but if you want an easier experience out of the box and you know that things are going to work well, we highly recommend you stick with the Arch version.
Yeah.
So I do see there is a question here in the chat from Sean. It says, so what makes StormOS different from other Arch-based distros? What is its vision?
What is the vision?
Basically,
I'll let Ricky answer this one.
basically, the vision of our system is just a clear-cut, simple vision. We're trying to basically make Arch to where it can cater to the mom and pop new users that are coming from Windows or Mac OS to our platform and give them a user-friendly experience out of the box that pretty much gives you not only the latest packages and the latest stuff, but at the same time it allows you to have the tools necessary to get your real work done. That is our vision for StormOS.
Yes, and also our buddy Seeker has developed some custom programs that, not all of them are going to be included for our own reasons, but some of them are not meant public, but we will include at least a few of them by default.
Yeah, our buddy Seeker, which, by the way, huge shout out to you, man. You have been a tremendous help to our team, and we're glad to have you. He, over the last few years, has made a lot of StormOS exclusive Python-based applications that are very, very cool, and you're going to see a tiny few of them once the final release of our ISO is basically ready. There's not going to be a whole bunch of them, just a few minor nitpicks here and there.
Got you. Okay. So an easier adoption from someone unfamiliar with Linux. So there'll be a lot of graphic tools, I'm guessing.
Yes, they do have a GUI behind them. So, and one of them is actually I'll give you a sneak peek of some of the info behind them. We are including a front end to a alternative GUI to screen recording that's an OBS alternative, simple screen recorder alternative as well. And he also built an MPV alternative as well, right, Ricky?
Yeah. Basically, he's been working on basically an alternative to simple screen recorder since, as you're pretty much aware, simple screen recorder hasn't really had that much maintenance or development over the last few years. So we thought, you know what? Let's make our own vision of it. Let's take some things from simple screen recorder and make it into our own, which is why we basically developed our own in-house recording app, which will be available in the final version of our ISO.
Sweet.
Yep, and that is already in the testing version that we've got, and yeah, like we said, we're not including any Office product at all. We're not including Numeric, AbiWord, LibreOffice, nothing like that installed to keep the ISO size down.
Yeah, because so far through the testing that me and the team have done, a lot of our ISOs have pretty much come out to really big sizes. Like the last one came out at 4.5. We're trying to get our ISO size down to the 2.5 3 gigabyte range. So that's pretty much our main target for our ISO sizes. Between
2.5 to 3 gig.
Exactly. So that's pretty much what we're working on as well.
Yeah, because we don't want to overload this sucker with so much stuff, But yeah, that's our update, and we'll be, like he said, we'll be testing the alpha build internal one tonight, and then once we've deemed it worthy, we'll go from there. So.
Well, excellent. That's great news.
Yes, and once we have a public alpha release ready, you guys will be the first to know about it on a future episode. So,
Fantastic.
all
Well, great.
right.
Well, certainly keep us updated on how things go, and
Oh,
I'm
you'll
glad you're
know.
willing to share it
You'll
here
know.
on the Linux
Mm-hmm.
Saloon.
All righty.
And really, that's an invitation. Anybody who's got any projects that they want to share and talk about and get community engagement. Not a very big community, Linux Saloon, but it's it's
Yeah.
not super tiny either. But we'd love to have you talk about your project. And Sean, I think it's self-funded. StormOS is completely self-funded at this point, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's pretty much self-funded. Right now, we're not taking donations currently, but basically, any basically help that basically or advice that we can get from you and the Linux community is very much appreciated.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, excellent. All right. Well, it is time for last call. So I think Steve's very own. He's in the chat right now, trolling Leo, and he has his very own live show every Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m. Central. So Steve talks about any number of things. Can be Linux or OBS or what other cool things he's doing. And now that he's retired from managing the world, so so check that out. Steve's very own Sunday mornings at 9:30. I don't know if there's gonna be a one tomorrow. He's doing a is he doing a Father's Day stream? I don't know. I'm sure he'll hear this, and if he's not, I'll let you know. Linux User Space is a great podcast, one of my favorites, if not my favorite. They just released their 20th episode of their 4th season, and it's good listening. I like the fact they did have a Mozilla section as well, and so check that out. But see, Linux User Space, they were on a break for a little bit, but they're back. I know I thought they were taking a summer break. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. But anyway, so check it out, Linux User Space. They do have a bunch of stuff on there about their I think they had a multi-week adventure on Gentoo as well. So check that out. So Steve Zern says, I'll be streaming tomorrow, but not until later in the morning, going out for a Father's Day breakfast. So I guess stay tuned. We'll see how that goes. May not be at 9:30 then. 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, whatever. So I guess be on the lookout. Oh, Leo says Linux User Space is on break after 20. So they're taking a break now. So check that out. I'm on a podcast called Linux Out Loud. Check it out. We recorded an episode a couple weeks ago. So it means we got another one that'll be recording this week. But we talked about technical liabilities. I have a website called cubiclenate.com. I do things when I do have the time. Today, instead of writing, I stained my deck. Woohoo! So no tech, that has nothing to do with anything nerdy. I just don't want it to crack and fall apart. So Linux Saloon is part of the Tux Digital Network, so check out more great shows at tuxdigital.com. I want to thank you all for your support, however you do it, being a part of the conversation, both the Zoom meeting and the YouTube stream, as well as everyone for watching the show after the fact. I want to thank everyone involved in making the Linux and open source tools possible for us to not only have this conversation, but also to have fun and enjoy our technology. Linux truly puts personal back in their personal computer. Thank you for stopping by. Be sure to tip your developers, and please remember to Linux responsibly. Until next time. See yas.
See you next time, folks.
I should ask Mike about his friend who's got that mini PC for a server, how he manages